Right folks, I've got one for all you racing fans. I'm going to have to put the bins on for this. I'm going to have to get close up because I'm going to read it off the Racing Post website. Read this yesterday, pretty touched by it. It's going to get dark in a minute. I should have the light on above it, but with the bins on it'll reflect. So it's going to get dark, I am sorry. I'm recording late now, I do apologise. Yeah, read it in the Racing Post yesterday, and it's about a young lady called Josephine Gordon. Had a good winner over the weekend, I was pleased for her. I mentioned her a couple of weeks ago. I don't know how you racing foot feel she is as a jockey. Maybe some of you like her, maybe you don't. Maybe I'm wrong in my assessment of her. She's not rode that many horses for me over the last sort of 4 or 5 years, but there was a spell for about 6 or 8 months where I was on a few horses that she was riding. And I think she's a good jock, and I think it's been sad the way she's been sort of, the way she's dropped down the pecking order. I think she's a good girl, a good jockey. She's not getting the rides I don't feel she deserves, but I might be wrong. Anyway, if I'm wrong about that, I'm not wrong about this. This girl's got her heart in the right place. This girl is a good girl. Let me put the bins on and let me read this to you. I read it, as I say, only yesterday. And it concerns somebody that I mentioned in a message 2 or 3 days ago. I was mentioning that young girl that got hurt in the fall. I think she was from Kim Bailey's yard. She's been moved out of intensive care now and she's getting a bit better, I believe, but don't know how she's going to be. And I was talking about another girl that got hurt badly about 6, 8, 10 weeks ago now. I said I've not heard much about her since, but I believe she was in a pretty bad way, a bit Graham Lee-like, although hopefully it isn't that bad. And it turns out her name is Alice Proctor. I couldn't remember the name of the day. I can now because the piece is in front of me. This is the piece, and this is the headline. Josephine Gordon donates winnings from a £70,000 race to help injured Alice Proctor. Now, this is the race old Josephine won, I think, on Saturday. Now, it's a big pot for Josephine, that it is, because she's not going on the horses anymore. Let me read it to you. Josephine Gordon has played down the little gesture of donating the prize money from her richest success of the season to help injured jockey Alice Proctor. Her percentage from Whitcomb Rockstar's win in the £70,000 London Mile Series final at Kempton on Saturday will go towards the rehabilitation of a rider who worked at winning trainer Kieran Burke's Dorset Yard. Proctor, 21, was flown to hospital by air ambulance after a fall in a handicap hurdle for women riders in Cartmel in July. Is it that long ago? Right. And was found to have sustained an injury to the spinal cord in the I think it's thoracic region, which affected her the lower half of her body. Alice is a huge part of the team, Gordon said on Sunday. She's always been there leading me up, dealing with Rockstar, and it's the least I could do for her. It's going to be tough for her, and it's a little gesture which I hope will help a bit. If something like this happens, we all support one another. When we get on the racetrack, we're competitive, but we look after each other as well. She's a tough girl and she's going to smash it. Sounds like it's already been smashed, unfortunately. I'm not making light of it, I'm really not. Burke added, Alice is still a big part of the yard. She's doing the payroll and helping with entries. She did a lot of work with Whitcomb Rockstar and led you up a few times. It was emotional at Kempton, as it was when he won at Sandown just a week after the accident. Also supporting the fundraising effort is Emery Brook, who broke his wrist in a fall at Worcester, but will join several other riders taking part in the Keswick Half Marathon on Sunday, September the 22nd. I'll have an operation to have the wrist pinned on Tuesday, and that gives me 11 days to get ready for the run, said the jump jockey. Alice has suffered life-changing injuries, and we're aiming to raise $20,000 for her rehabilitation. Any donations of whatever size are gratefully received. A lot of the jockeys who rode in the Cartmel race will be running, including Charlotte Jones, Becky Smith and Alice Stevens. Emma Smith-Chaston, Joe Colliver, Theo Gillard and Joe Williamson are among other past and present jockeys set to tackle the run in the Northern Lake District, a test which has earned its reputation for being scenic and challenging, with an extra loop in the Newlands Valley. Brooke, who had ridden 24 winners in the 2024-25 season at a career high strike rate when breaking his wrist in the fall. I'm reading this crap. Brooke, who had ridden 24 winners in the 2024-25 season at a career high strike rate when breaking his wrist in the fall in a 2-mile-7 handicap chase, hoped to be fit to resume race riding in mid-October. Proctor was having her 7th ride under rules and was seeking her first victory, although she had ridden and trained winners in the point-to-points. She was formerly an event rider, and her brother Freddie is a successful jump jockey in the United States, coming within half a length of becoming the first British rider to win the Maryland Hunt Cup in April. Now, I was reading about Josephine Gordon there, folks, and part of that piece is they went on to talk about this half marathon they were running for the young lady, and I thought, well, I'll cover that as well. It just shows it's not only Josephine, jockeys are doing what jockeys do, they just all rally round. But I thought for a young lady like Josephine Gordon, who sadly has been short of rides for, I'd say, at least 18 months now, to win a prize like that and donate it all to that young girl says a hell of a lot for Josephine Gordon. It does. It really does. What did they get, 10%? She might have got 7 grand, it might be 8%, I don't know, but boom, all of it given. I think that's phenomenal. Many of the jockeys are charitable and they're great people, but could you say your Frankie Dettori winning the Derby one year, say it's his biggest pot of the year, or the Arc, and donating all his money, when he might have won another 15, 20 Group 1s? I can't see it. You know, I think that is absolutely fantastic of Josephine Gordon. I hope she gets a few rides on the back of it to make that money back up. I really do. I think that's sensational. I'll tell you now, if I had a horse on the flat and it was a good horse, regardless of what it was winning, I'd be saying to my trainer this weekend, I want Josephine Gordon on it next. That's what I'd be doing. I think, and I mean that, I would do that. I mean, no one, you know, I've not got it, so no, I can't prove that. But I know me, and I know for a fact that's what I would do. Tell you what, folks, I've got a little suggestion, and I hope I'm not stepping on anyone's toes or being cheeky, but I think he does it for all kinds of charities, and he cares about anything and everything. Maybe a couple of you that are close to Mickey, have a word in his shell, like, and say the next donation he does from various people paying and what he is, because I know he does a lot of that. Tell him to look at this young girl, this Alice Proctor, maybe give a bit of a donation to that, because it's obviously worthwhile. But did it say 20 years of age? I think it did. I've got a funny feeling it means she's never going to walk again. I don't know. I mean, lots of us have donated to Graham Lee and we love him. I didn't know this young girl, I didn't, but I mean, what I'll say about Graham, and it's awful for all of them, he's had a great career and a good life up to wherever he is now. What is he, say, mid-40s? This girl's 20 and had no life. 7 rides, never got a winner. What a shame. What a great shame. But Josephine Gordon, you'll never see this, lovey, although I do hope you do. There's somebody out there in that there Warrington thinking of you, and he thinks what you did is absolutely sterling. Absolutely fantastic, love. Sterling. Don't know where that came from. I couldn't think of a word. It just came into the old bonds, and it comes in and goes out. That's me. I'm a bit weird. Well done, Josephine Gordon, anyway.